Good evening, hackers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and this one is a request from JimJimPlays, and I'll freely admit the route was a bit of a surprise. The loco was anything but a surprise, but yeah, the route was. So yeah, we are on the 1066 line. And he wants us to do a full run of it, so I'm going to do the run starting at Hastings, and obviously yeah, we are going all the way to Tonbridge. He did state all stations, but I mean, when you consider the loco we're using, yeah, that was always a given, so yeah, it was always going to be all stations, no matter what. So the loco is the class 205, the old thumper. And yeah, I mean, I know Jimmy's quite a fan of the 205. I'll be honest, there are quite a few other sort of like ye olde multiple units that I prefer over the 205, but it's not a bad old thing. And let's face it, on this line, the 205s were commonplace. They were all over the shop. So yeah, not a big surprise there. He gave me choice of livery. Well, for me, that was a no-brainer. I really do like how this thing looks in the old BR blue. So that is the livery I've gone with. As far as specifics, it is summer, it is clear, and it is 5:30, which puts it really at peak evening rush hour. But he did ask if I could make it sort of like late afternoon, so that the light was starting to go down and we could see some sort of orange haze off the windows of any of the buildings that we were passing. Well, I don't know for certain if I've made it late enough, but well, I guess we'll find out. Because of course, during the summer, I mean, yeah, although it's 5:30, I'm probably not expecting the daylight to start fading away for at least another couple of hours. But oh well, we'll see how that goes. So anyway, that is the setup. So let's get this up and running. And here we are. Yeah, I don't quite know why that fog thing there sort of like comes along, but yeah, it's here all the time. So here is our class 205. We're in a 3-car version of it. Great looking thing. Let's get the passengers on, unless... Oh, okay, yeah, it's not that all the doors open, yeah, so they all do it individually. I forgot about that. Right, anyway, while we are here, let's get the thing set up. Don't need a cab light, it's light enough in here. Let's set up the head code box. And there's the guard telling us that he's ready, but I'm not. So we want number 68. So yeah. So I think we're all good there. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so yeah, passenger doors have closed. So you can see, I mean, it does have a late afternoon feel to it, but it's not quite there. If we get in closer, you can hear the engine sound. So yep, the train is running. You may have also noticed that yeah, the signal we're at is red, so yeah, we now have the approval to pass it. So let's do that, and away we go. Now the last couple of EMUs that I've driven have had really great acceleration. You know, the 378 and the 444. This one doesn't. This is pretty slow accelerating, but nevertheless it was very frequently used on this line, and I suspect, I mean, for one thing, it's a DEMU, it's not just a plain DEMU, but even though I've only set a 3-car train, I suspect there were a good few 6-car trains of this ilk running. So that was a 411 that we are currently passing. Quite a pleasant surprise to see that. And we're now in a 30 zone. Now one thing I really have not got to grips with when it comes to this particular multiple unit is the braking. I'm hopeless at the braking on this thing. I'm also trying to find, look, this, there you go, we'll just do it that way. So yeah, we are only sort of like, yeah, rolling along at just under 25 mph, but yeah, we got the station coming up, so it is very slow, but nevertheless here we are at St Leonard's Warrior Square. I don't need the cab light anymore. That wasn't too bad. So here we are at St Leonard's Warrior Square. I have it on fairly good authority that St Leonard's is a bit of a rough old place. It certainly doesn't look like it, but looks can frequently be deceiving. Now, as is always the case whenever I do one of these videos using anything that is freeware, I will put the link to download this route. It's a fantastic route, I cannot recommend it highly enough. However, I am still using version 1, and there is now a version 2 available, and in fact if you were to go to it looks like all the doors are shut, so yeah, we'll go. But if you were to go to the site to get this, which is the Backdated Train Sim site, they only have version 2 available. Now the reason why I have not updated mine to version 2 is because one of its requirements is the Armstrong Powerhouse weather pack, which I do not have, and I have no desire to get it because of all the updates that are available for Train Simulator Classic, none of them are as glitchy and as, yeah, I would go so far as to say bug-ridden as the Armstrong Powerhouse weather package. We'll coast for a bit because we've got to come down to 25 as we approach West St Leonard's station. But yeah, the Armstrong Powerhouse weather package, you know, weather enhancement pack, looks great. There's no denying that. It does look really good, but it is so glitchy, so bugged, that I can only see it being a massive pain in the arse if you were to, you know, add it to your game. It has very much got the potential to completely ruin your game. So I won't go near it, or at least it's extremely unlikely I will go near it. And if you go to the Armstrong Powerhouse website and look at the weather enhancement update, there's a few things in the description that really jump out at you for all the wrong reasons. Firstly, they say that because of some update, and it's not referring to the most recent update, but because of some update that Dovetail Games did to their own game, it has resulted in it being a bit sort of unreliable, and it's not always going to work and all this. But then they go so far as to say that they are selling the pack like with zero support, no support at all. So if you have any problems with it, you're on your own. They will not lift a finger to help you. Now, for a start, that contravenes the laws in this country with regards to retail. If you buy something, especially online, and it's not working, it's not doing as advertised, you are fully entitled to either support from the company or a full refund. No exceptions. So they can put that on their website all they like. It is utterly meaningless. Not only that, the fact that they think they can get away with that is, as far as I'm concerned, utterly outrageous. Anyway, we are leaving West St Leonard's. It does also explain how they their social media, they do not allow any sort of comments from anyone on their social media, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or whatever. The comment sections of all of it is switched off. And when you see that they are trying to get away with stuff like that, you know, this thing is being sold without any support, if it doesn't work you're on your own, I think we can see why they don't allow any comments on any of their social media, because there is no way anyone with an ounce of sense will accept that, because it's bang out of order to the extent that it is illegal. Also, Armstrong Powerhouse are so thin-skinned they cannot take any criticism, and that was why they stopped you know, allowing comments on their social media. They gave some bullshit reason about how social media doesn't truly reflect what people really think and all this bollocks. No, don't treat us like we're all fucking morons. We can all clearly see what the real reason is. So there is that. But there's also the fact that, again, in their description of the weather enhancement pack, that while this issue with the weather enhancement thing that is causing it to be, you know, to not work properly, they go on to say this is going to be the case until Dovetail Games release a fix. Dovetail Games don't need to release a fix. Their weather system in their game works fine. And shockingly, I mean, this is going to really come as a big surprise, but Dovetail Games are under no obligation whatsoever to issue a fix for an enhancement pack that was developed by Armstrong Powerhouse. Dovetail Games did not contribute one single line of code of that Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement pack. And yet Armstrong Powerhouse say on their website that they are basically saying it's up to Dovetail Games to fix it. Absolute horseshit. And once again that shows why Armstrong Powerhouse have, you know, they no longer allow any you know, comments on their social media, because they know full well no one is going to accept that. No one in their right mind. And when I read you know, stuff like that on Armstrong Powerhouse own website, and bearing in mind I've been buying quite a bit of their stuff lately, I'm not proud of that, because at the very least I think their stuff is, you know, expensive. It's good but expensive. But when you read that, I really couldn't help thinking, you know what, fuck this lot. They don't deserve my money. And they don't deserve me recommending people to go out and get it. Now I know that's not going to last, because, you know, I'll just drive one of their trains that I think is great, like I am now, the 205 here, and then I'll say, yeah, this is brilliant, go and get it. Although I do think the 205 is pretty expensive. I mean, it's 30 quid. Yeah. I do think it's good, but I would not go so far as to say it's worth buying, because 30 quid, wait for a sale. They don't have them very often. The only time I know they will have one is around Christmas time, which of course has been and gone. And no, it's not coincidence that I now have this just after Christmas. But yeah, the full price 30 quid I think is outrageous. Anyway, we are approaching Crowhurst. Now I'm braking very, very early because I'm still not used to these brakes. And I am braking rather gently here. It's only 26%, but we'll get our speed down to mid to low 30s. And then try and get our braking sorted out within the station. Here we go. Yes, again, it does not feel like I'm braking hard enough. Well, actually, having said that, yeah, that's not too bad actually. So here we are then at Crowhurst station. So anyway, I did go off on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, the bottom line is, yeah, there is now a version 2 of the 1066 line. I don't have it, but even though I'll put a link to it, you know, because if you like what you see here, version 2 supposedly is, you know, it's improved just about every single aspect of it. So it looks great, it plays great. You know, it's well worth getting. But yeah, it's got that weather enhancement thing as one of their requirements. really hear the old thumper engine there. It is quite the weird old train, the old 205. I mean, it is a DEMU or a DEMU, but if anything, it's actually a weird sort of hybrid of multiple unit and locomotive, because the diesel engine is a single, yeah, it's just a single diesel engine, and it's right behind us in the cab here. So yeah, the diesel engine is all in here. But of course, this is a DEMU, so it's a diesel electric, and the diesel engine is actually yeah, providing power to the electric generators, and they are the things that are in each of the units. There are 2 electric motors on each carriage, yeah, one at each end around the axles of the bogies at each end of the carriages, or each end of the units I should say. So in that regard, yeah, it's working like a multiple unit, but yeah, it's just got the single diesel engine. So it's, yeah, it is a bit of a hybrid. And it does kind of explain why this thing is a bit sluggish on the older acceleration front. So we're entering an 80 mph section. We haven't yet reached 50 mph. But yeah, we have the station at Battle coming right up. Okay, let's begin braking, get us down to our low 30s. See, this braking rate just strikes me as being a bit slow here. So Battle is, as the name would suggest, on the site of the Battle of Hastings. Well, it's right next to it. The far end of the town, because yeah, the station here is right at the southern sort of point of the town or village, whatever you want to call it, of Battle. And the northern end, I mean, it's not a big town, so you know, the north end of the town is not all that far away. But the actual battle itself took place on Senlac Hill, which, well, let's say, right, yeah, you can see the rest of the town is over here. So where these houses are going up, that is Senlac Hill. So you can see like a bit of a sort of cleared area just around here. That's where the battle actually happened. Battle of Hastings is a bit of a sore point for me, because it's one of the first things you learn as... Right, bit of an interruption there. That was actually my GP phoning me. I thought it was the old man. It nearly always is him. Right, so what was I talking about? I think I was talking about the Battle of Hastings, yeah, being a bit of a pisser, because really Harold should have won, but no, his army didn't listen to him. They did exactly well, yeah, the Normans did exactly what he told his army they would do, but yeah, the Anglo-Saxon army fell for it, and as they say, the rest is history. So we're now in an 80 mph section. I believe the 205 could do 80 mph. You'd probably be waiting a pretty fucking long time for it to do so, but yeah, I do believe it was able to do it. Well, we've got up to 50. This 1 in 100 downhill section we're on is certainly helping there. So we're up to 60 and we are still accelerating at a pretty hefty rate. Pretty good actually. Yeah, some great scenery on this route, it really is. The best thing is it also uses the Armstrong Powerhouse vegetation enhancement pack. That's one of their general enhancement packs that doesn't bollocks your game up. In fact, the weather one is the only one that does, but Jesus Christ, it really makes up for the fact that none of the others do. So we're now on a 1 in 255 uphill section. We're entering a 70 zone, but we are losing speed anyway. Yeah, we are approaching the 50 zone. We need to start braking here. We're approaching a tunnel. We have another 411. The only reason I know it's definitely a 411 is because, yeah, they were the only other ones that really used this service. Really came on to this particular line. So we're into the 40 zone. Probably actually it's a 50 zone, so I can actually accelerate a little bit because, yeah, this time the brakes were pretty good. I forgot to turn the cab light off. Oh well. Fairly short tunnel, this one. As we leave, we will then be entering a 70 zone as a start of it. we're now in there. So here we go. I can now turn off the cab light. And next station is approaching Roberts Bridge. So we just go back to what I was talking about earlier with regards to Backdated Train Sim, who are the guys that did this route. One thing that I do really like about them, firstly, I mean, I've got a reasonable amount of their stuff, and it's all great. I don't have a single bad word to say about any of it. But the thing that I really like about it the most is the ease of installation, because there are quite a lot of freeware add-ons where the installation process is a fucking hassle and then some. It's horrendous. I'm really hoping that these brakes will be good enough to stop us in time. Oh, we are getting very close to the end. Yeah, we're nowhere near. So again, brakes on this, I just cannot get used to them. Started braking well towards the end there, but it took so long for them to actually start working. So the first carriage has completely missed. The second carriage is on, or second unit I should say, but yeah, because that bit's there, won't count, so it's only going to allow the third unit to actually be used. So yeah, and there's a lot of like freeware stuff. Take for example one that I was really keen to get quite recently, a reskin for the Caledonian sleeper carriages and the specific loco for it, so that I could do a run as the Night Riviera and do the sleeper run down to Penzance. Now that would have been great. But the installation process, Jesus Christ. So yeah, you had to, like, you know, copy over the assets folder and what have you, but then you had to go into the assets folder, you had to go to a very specific folder, and then it was, right, you've got to extract from, you know, AP file X this particular file and then move it to folder blah blah blah. Then you've got to go to another folder and extract file Y from, you know, another AP file, and then put that into folder, you know, blah blah blah. And oh god. And I got about halfway through reading those installation instructions, and I'd lost the will to live, and I just thought, well, there's no way I'm doing this. So I didn't bother. I've still got it. Maybe maybe one day I'll actually decide to actually try it. But yeah, awful installation process. Now when it comes to anything from Backdated Train Sim, the installation process, right, is double click on the installation exe. That's it. That's the kind of installation process I like. Nice, simple, easy to do. So yeah, very much another big plus point for Backdated Train Sim there. Right, now I made a real mess of the last stop, so let's I mean, we're still over half a mile away from Etchingham, but I've got to bring our speed down to again mid to low 30s and sort of coast into the station, because I just can't stop this thing fast enough if I don't do that. So I never have this sort of problem when I'm, you know, in a class 801. What was the video I did quite recently, and oh yeah, it was in the 378. Now that, again, I should have no problems braking on that one. And yeah, I overshot a stop by about 1.5 carriages, which worked out to almost 33% of the entire train. Etchingham is a fairly small station, but nevertheless, yeah, no problem here. I'm also starting to think, I mean, I do this every time, but I think I should have gone with a 6-car train. These stations are plenty big enough for a 6-car. Why did I just go with a 3? Oh well. Especially as, yeah, I started this at the peak rush hour. Anyway, yep, all the carriages, all the units, I keep saying carriages, you know what I mean. All the units, anyway, are all on here. We're all good. So this is Etchingham. Feeling guard signal is going to go fairly soon. There we go. Right, let's do this one from outside so we can get a good listen to the engine. Really hear the whine of the turbocharger there. Good engine sound. It is a bit sort of like put 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 sort of sound, but nevertheless it's certainly accurate. Sounds very much like the old 205s. Quite the sprinkling of dead flies on my windscreen here. Let's get a shot of them. What a place to stop that. There we go. So we're on a 90 mph zone. We are still not even halfway to that speed. This thing's never going to get to 90. I can't see. I'm sure there was something written that told us the speed of it, but I can't see it. I think it will do 80. It will take an eternity to actually accelerate up to that speed, but I think it will get there. It does rather mystify me as to why the 205s were used so often on this line. Maybe anyone who's from the area can let us know. But the line was already electrified with the third rail system. I mean, parts of the southeast network. Sounds better from outside, but it's still not a great horn this thing has. But yeah, parts of the southeast network had already been electrified in the 1930s. So this route was electrified. I'm pretty sure the entire route had been electrified by the time this thing came along. This thing came along in 1957. And so why use this instead of an electric, an EMU? They did have them, they had plenty of them. In the 402s, which we have available in the game, but they also had the 401, the 406. They had plenty of them there. So, yeah, if anyone does know why they stuck with the 205 on an electrified line, I'm intrigued. So Stonegate anyway is the next station. Once again, I'm having to start braking really early because I just have not got to grips with these brakes. And we're on a 1 in 102 uphill climb, so you would think this would really help with our deceleration rate. In fact, it is, so much so that yeah, I'm able to stop a lot earlier than I planned, or stop braking a lot earlier than I planned. The ground levels out here. As soon as we leave the station, we're back on the ascent again. So yeah, here we are at Stonegate Station. I certainly remember those yeah, station clocks there. Looks like the doors are all shut, so I could well have just missed the guard signal. Yeah, no one's getting on either, so let's go. So there are occasions, especially when we just start pulling away, where the engine of this thing really sounds like the engine of Class 73. That could just be a game thing. I can't imagine in real life that there was too many similarities between the 205 engine and the 73 engine. So this uphill climb is really impacting on our acceleration rate. It's not like our acceleration rate was fantastic to begin with. run of the fly collection. Still got plenty of time for more of them to arrive. So, speed reduction coming up down to 60 mph. We're not doing anything like that at the moment. We're still trying to accelerate up to 60. So yeah, that's alerting us to slow down. We still need to accelerate to it. 1 in 97, we're at full notch, not 7, and we are not accelerating one bit. This gradient is beating us quite convincingly. So we are actually accelerating again. Just. So we're approaching Wadhurst Tunnel. So once again we'll be going into single line. All of the tunnels on this route are all single line as we go through the tunnel. There's a bit of a ridiculous story behind why that is the case. But basically they made a complete balls up of every tunnel that they dug out on this route. And they were made so that two lines could go through them simultaneously, but the tunnel walls were actually made too thin and everything all started collapsing in on itself. So they had to make some hefty repairs, strengthening the walls and everything else. And once they had done that, the tunnels were then not wide enough for two lines to get through. So yeah, it was just one cock up after another. And another 411. Good to see some AI traffic in this. I think this is the first time I've seen any AI traffic on this route. But then again, this is the first time I've driven this route since I got the 411 and 412 pack, which is clearly something that it needed in order to get the AI traffic. So yeah, that's proven to be a very, very welcome bonus. I mean, the pack with the 411 and 412 is one of the best ones you can get from AP, but yeah, the fact that it adds AI traffic to this, it just makes it even better. What was I saying about, oh yeah, I'm going to turn around and say that Armstrong Powerhouse are great. Done it before the video even finished. So here we are at Wadhurst Station. Again, fantastic fantastic scenery they've done here. It always amazes me just how good a job they've done of this route every time I drive it. It is, I think, by a long way the best freeware route in the game, or available for the game, and it's absolutely one of my favourite routes in the game. You know, even if we're comparing it alongside paid for DLC. No one else is getting on. I've missed the guard, so let's get underway. So we're now going to be going onto a downhill section, which will certainly help our acceleration, but we are only in a 50 mph zone, so yeah, it's 1 in 80 downhill. So all the sections of the route that were, you know, like 80 or 90 mph, this is a section where it would really benefit, but no, we've got to do 50. And on this sort of like downhill gradient, even this thing will make 50 no problem. Oh, there you go, there's a 90 coming up, right at the bottom of the downhill section. Okay, so it is now only a 1 in 136. Does that mean we are still, yeah, we are still accelerating very, very slowly, but, well, we're always accelerating very, very slowly in this thing, but you know what I mean. Yep, can't hear the engine at all because we are just coasting. So, Front Station coming up next. So entering a 90 zone, which we are now in, and we're now on a 1 in 82 uphill gradient. So we'll try and get a bit of speed up. In fact, all we're doing is slowing down our deceleration rate. Okay, right. We're 2/3 of a mile away, we'll use the uphill section to start slowing us down for this station. And I did see we have a 60 mph zone coming up in about 1.5 miles. I may have to re-watch some of my previous runs of this route because I do not remember Frant Station at all. And there are a few other things I've noticed on this run that I don't remember seeing before. It's almost as if this version has been updated to version 2 and I've just been completely unaware of it. I certainly didn't do it myself. But yeah, this station, say I don't remember it, these chairs, I do not remember them being this sort of like purpley blue colour. I'm pretty sure they were red last time I drove this line. So does that mean that this has somehow been updated via a Steam update or something? Right, that looks very much like yeah, no one else is getting on. So let's do a bit of a different leave. So away we go. So we're back on this uphill climb. I have a feeling this may well affect our acceleration. In fact, at the moment it looks like we're downhill. So here comes that 60 zone that I was talking about. Now we're going uphill, and yeah, it is impacting on our acceleration. We are struggling to get up to 39. So there goes the Morpers board telling us to slow down for 60. We can't even get anywhere near it. So there's no getting away from it. The old 205 is a proper old crate, but you know what, that's one of the things that's great about it. And yes, I do really like doing the you know, super fast intercity high speed train runs and that, but I also really like going back to, like, you know, the early diesels. And this is it's a fantastic example of one of those early diesels. So this tunnel, I have a feeling this tunnel is fairly long, and we, oh, okay, it's not remotely fairly long. We have a 25 mph section fast coming up. We're going to have to decelerate for that because it's downhill. as we approach Tonbridge Wells, which I am pretty sure is our penultimate stop. Right, so we'll ease off the brakes because I think, yeah, we are picking up speed because of the downhill gradient. Oh yeah, Tunbridge Wells is the station that's sandwiched between two tunnels, isn't it? So we certainly don't need to brake hard for here. This is a pretty long platform. I think we may need to brake a bit harder than we are though. There we go. So here we are at Tunbridge Wells. If I remember rightly, this is the one that has all, yeah, the disappearing cars, and then you get a bus that suddenly appears out of nowhere here. Yeah. Right, looks like doors are all shut. Okay, so much for that. Now they have. Away we go. Not so sure this is the penultimate stop. We're still about 5 miles from Tonbridge. Now, I think if I was driving any other DEMU, yeah, we would have easily started speeding before we got to this tunnel. Because in this thing, yeah, getting to 25 is a bit of a task. So yeah, this is the tunnel that's a fair old length. So we are going downhill, 1 in 103. We have a 411. This one looks like, yeah, it's got the Jaffa cake all the way through it. It's not just the first 4 carriages. So High Brooms is the next stop. I didn't think, it didn't seem quite right that Tonbridge would be the penultimate stop when there was still 5 miles to go. So if there is anyone out there who is not sure as to why that livery of the 411 that just passed us is called the Jaffa Cake, I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out, but yep, it is because it has the orangey bit in the middle. And that is genuine, that's not me pissing about. Oh, okay, no, I think we'll be alright, but bloody hell, that end of the platform's coming up a bit sharpish. Yeah, okay, so we bollocksed up this stop. I mean, look, people can get out of there, no problem. And that, okay, this carriage is fine. So, yeah, second and third unit's fine, but this first one, as far as I'm concerned, that is still fine. No problem there. What are you talking about? So, it's 3.3 miles, 3.35 miles to Tonbridge. There could yet be another stop. Well, no one's getting on or off. I didn't get a signal from the guard. Wake him up. It might have been, yeah, because we'd already gone through the signal, because we overshot the platform a bit. That's why the guard didn't do his thing. So another downhill section coming up, which will certainly help our acceleration again. We are up to 50. I mean, for us, this is lightning speed. Go over this viaduct here. And we are going to need to lose quite a bit of speed in a bit, because our approach to Tonbridge, sorry, yeah, we've got to approach it at 20 mph. So there is Tonbridge station on the route display. We're still accelerating because we're going downhill. We've got to start braking now. This downhill section looks like it's going to get steeper. So there's our alert on the Morphus board. We haven't slowed down anywhere near enough. That 20 is getting very, very close. Well, there we go, we made it. We made it easily. So we'll let the gradient bring our speed up a bit, because we slowed down too much. I can't believe we did that. Yeah, it's 1 in 53 downhill now. And we got speeding. I think I was absolutely fine. You know, I clear run until then. It's just the same as the class 92 run I did recently. Right the way to the end, and then it says, right, that's it, you're speeding now. Fucking thing. This 1 in 53 actually carries on for a long old while. There's another 411. So that's another thing that makes me wonder if this has been updated somehow, because I wasn't getting any AI traffic before. Now I've got 411s everywhere. I mean, like I said earlier, I didn't have the 411s when I last did this run. That might have something to do with it, but I really don't know. Anyway, here we are at Tonbridge station. There we go. And there we go. That was the 1066 line. That was Hastings to Tonbridge in the class 205. Fantastic run. I love this route. And the 205, yeah, it's a slow old crate, but there is something about it I like, and I think it looks fantastic in the BR blue livery here with the yellow front. So yeah, everything about that run was great. I really did like that one. So let's see how he did. Speeding twice. Okay, so it wasn't a clear run when I got that. I'm almost glad to see that. Nevertheless, for me, only getting 2 speeding errors is not bad going, even though this is a run that, well, it's not even 40 miles, so yeah, there's really no excuse for it. But yep, you've all seen enough of my driving in this game by now to know that yeah, clear runs are very much the exception rather than the rule. But there we go. Great run that. Did like that one. So that brings this video to an end, and we will see you at the next one.